landing a great job opportunity is sometimes very challenging. Breaking into tech and getting hired as a sales rep can be even harder. When I was applying to my first sales jobs, I also struggled with the unknown. What to expect, what the tech industry was like, and how do I break in? After years of being an SDR myself, I've decided to build something I wish I had in the beginning. My name is Stefan, and in the SDR Hire podcast, I interview successful SDRs and salespeople who share their stories straight from the trenches. Learn how they got their first job offers, how they succeed every day in their roles, and what makes them stand out in their organizations. We all have what it takes. We just need someone to remind us of the opportunity and give us a better chance for success. Let's get your next SDR gig. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the SDR Hire podcast. Today, I have with me Zoi Lazaris, one of the most energetic people I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. Zoi is currently an SDR at Sastrify, a company that allows you to manage your spending on SaaS tools and helps you negotiate your SaaS contracts. Now, what's interesting and unique about Zoi's story is the fact that she spent 21 years in aesthetics only to transition into an SDR role a few months back. More about her story we'll hear directly from Zoi. Zoi, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So can you tell us a bit more about your background and how you came to be an SDR?
Oh my God, I think I fell into being an SDR. It's like default, it was a complete default, but I'm so glad it happened. 21 years, nearly 22 years as an aesthetician, practicing and patient coordination. So it's like a complete 180 of what I'm doing today. And what happened was I left the UK to come to Greece, and I had my little one. So I took some time out and I thought, right, I'll get back into being an aesthetician, found a job, hated it. It was just not what I wanted to do anymore. I didn't have the passion for it, but not only that, for the lifestyle reasons. I mean, I was working until 10 o'clock at night, and every weekend. And when you got a little one, it wasn't it just didn't fit. So I just started sending my CV out. And the only thing, obviously, if you don't speak Greek fluently, the only thing that was available was call centers and telecommunications and stuff like that. So I was, you do what you do when you're a mom. You have to send out. And I got a phone call through a third party here in Greece, and one of their projects was Sastrify. So I did my interview process with them, and I didn't even know what SaaS was. I was like, oh, okay, well, I obviously am great with the interview process because I got the job. It was fantastic. So yeah, that's how I landed into Sastrify. And obviously I was working for the third party for 6 months now, and diligently working hard and trying new things, and Sastrify took over my contract. So now I'm a full-fledged astronaut. I know this only happened a month ago, which is incredible. But that's how it happened. It's
Congratulations.
Crazy. It's really, really weird, but it's just,
I can see
what's gonna happen. You never know in life.
Amazing. And if you don't mind telling us, why did you initially move from UK?
It was to have my little one. I wasn't, I was going to come have IVF treatment for my little baby to try and have a child, because I was told that I wasn't able to. And I came here, and 2 weeks prior to me going and having IVF, I found out that I was naturally pregnant, which was yay!
That's really amazing.
It was all meant to be. You see,
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason. Everything, I believe in a lot about the stars, and you know what I mean. You put yourself out there, and the positivity is all there, and things will happen. You know what I mean. You do your little dance, left, right, and center, but you will get to where you're supposed to be in the end of the day. So here I am. Yeah.
That's right. And congratulations on landing the let's call it a full-time contract with Sastrify.
Yeah.
I can imagine how excited you are. And so, speaking of Sastrify, it sounds like a very exciting place to be at. Real quick, what's it like being there? What kind of a company it is?
Oh, I think I struck gold. I really did. I don't like to call it a community. It's a family. From day one, you are brought in, and you're part of the family. You have the support. You have your teammates, but you're all together. You are nurtured into growing, and you have the ability to learn while you're growing, and they steer you in the right direction. They give you the opportunity to be you while growing within the company. And I think that's so important, because everybody has different abilities, and you can't be great at everything at once, and you have to have that to support and be allowed to grow within your role. And that's what you achieve in Sastrify. They're awesome. Yeah.
Amazing. It's really a blessing when you have the right type of culture, and obviously not every culture is a fit to everybody's, let's say, sensitivity levels. But it really does sound like an awesome place. I'm curious, can you tell us how that process looked like coming into did you spam and blast like every company that you found hiring on LinkedIn? Did you have a specific strategy, something in between? Like, what was it like?
Well, to get the job.
Well, yeah, eventually with Sastrify.
Yeah, well, to get the job, all I was doing every single day, I was on LinkedIn, I was on Facebook, I was on, all the different sort of media outposts, and I was just sending my CV out left, right, and center. I think, unfortunately, today it's, especially obviously after COVID and everything like that, it was just, you didn't know. I just had no direction. I didn't know what was going to happen. And obviously, like I said, being in Greece, it was a lot more limited for me, and obviously, because English speaking jobs is very limited here in Athens. So I just had to put my feelers out wherever I could. And I was just like, you know what? Okay, yeah. Just put your head to it. Whatever comes your way, you've got your family mouths to feed. You're going to do it. You just have to do it. You just have to push yourself. Yeah, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did.
Amazing. No, that's really great. And so, what was it like going through the process with Sastrify? The interview process. What was it like?
Well, obviously the process, I didn't actually go through the whole interview process for Sastrify. I went through the process with a third party, which was completely different. But because I've been on LinkedIn, and since I started, I've always been about paying forward. And there's so many people out there that need a little bit of support, and everybody's trying to find their place today in the world. So just by being there and being able to sort of like say, hey, you know what, if you need any help or support, I've only just been an SDR for a month or two, but I've seen that we've got a position here or we've got a position there. I've reached out and I've learned the hiring process through that way. So I know that the steps are, you obviously reach out to HR, they'll get back to you within 2 days, 3 days. And then the process starts. You have your interview with the HR, and then HR will forward you through to Saulo, and he will then interview, and then it will go through to the sales. And it will just sort of step by step, and then the interview process takes about 2 to 3 weeks sometimes, and then you're hired, which is awesome, So yeah, it's not a difficult process, and it's a very friendly process, if I could call it that. It's sort of not suited and booted and stressful. I think because Sastrify in itself, it's not about what it's about who you are as a person, and if you're going to fit into our who we all are, and it's very important to be positive and open to new ways, and being adaptable and friendly, and just basically there. Yeah.
That's right. I mean, awesome. And what I find very very interesting, and this is something that's been, it keeps repeating episode after episode, is that people are present on LinkedIn and are just either sharing what they know, or receiving a lot of support from others. And so I just want to kind of emphasize how how rewarding that community is, and I mean, paying it forward. And so that's really amazing. And if I recall, you're pretty active on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah. I'm telling you, listen, it's only been since I started. I was never on LinkedIn. I had never joined LinkedIn. I never had a reason to, right?
Right.
So, just not between you and me, because obviously there's so many people watching this, but I actually hardly ever opened a laptop, right? Because it wasn't
Right.
part of my job,
Of
right?
course.
So everything is just so new to me. So when we were doing our training and it was like, right, well, you'll have to get a LinkedIn profile. And I was like, well, all right, who doesn't have a LinkedIn profile? My hand goes up, the only one in the whole room. I felt quite embarrassed, but it is what it is, you know what I mean? But I've now got a LinkedIn profile, and it's incredible, the support and the community that's out there. And it's just, you open up your laptop and whatever's going on in that day, you can reach out, you can have a coffee chat. People are there to help you through the process. Everybody's aware of how difficult it is, but also on the other hand, how wonderful it is. It's not just about all the greats of this and this is how you're supposed to do it. It's about, hey, right, I'm having a really shit day today and things aren't going by my way, and then you can join in that thread and everybody's open to being there for you. And I think it's such an important platform to be part of, because you learn to grow within your role. There are so many tips and tricks and helplines, but then it also growing as you as a person, your strengths, because being an SDR, you have to have you have to have balls. You have to have big balls,
That's right.
It's hard. It's really, really hard. And you have days where you're just like, oh, I can't face this. I'm really, really struggling. My energy is low. You're hitting those rejections and you think to yourself, Jesus, wow, I can't. I really, I need to pick me up. You reach out and it's just like this flood of support will come your way, and you think, right, here I am. I'm not the only person. I'm here, and let's get to it again. And you just have this fire again, and it's incredible. It is incredible. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's literally the same kind of feeling that I get on LinkedIn, and which is why I'm present there as well. And so you mentioned something that's really important, and I think you described it perfectly, which is the balls. So
sorry.
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing, and that's what I wanted to ask you about. Like, I think it takes a lot of balls to move to another country, switch a career completely, like literally 180 degrees, if not even 360. Like it's a completely different environment, skill sets. Like, how did you manage yourself, your I mean, let's call it lack of skills or experience in that area? Like, it must have been challenging.
Yeah, I cried a lot.
That's an awesome coping mechanism. I mean,
definitely. I think, it's wow. Some days I cope, some days I don't. I'm still finding my feet. I still it's been very challenging, but I've tried to better myself every single day. You have to put yourself out there, and I'm always finding different ways of bettering myself, be it sort of cold emails or outreach or knowledge. I try to speak to a lot of people. There are things that I'm really still struggling with. Cold calling is like my number one. Oh my God, I'm battling because I do have a problem with anxiety in itself, So I've taken on myself, and I've been taking the steps to, right, this is what I need to do to address my anxiety first, because I know a lot of people go out and say, oh, just do it. Okay, but that's okay for some people. But other people, when it says, oh, well, you just have to do it, you'll get better, it can actually hinder their process even further, because there's a step that they have to take to build themselves first and be able to detach from that anxiety first before just doing it. So I've taken those steps, and now, I've enrolled myself in a few sort of cold calling projects, and I'm ready now on Monday to sort of like go, right, I'm going to hit those calls, because I've taken a few months to really build myself up for that, because you really do you have to have thick skin. It's not easy. So this is one step that I've done, and I think you have to be open to learning new challenges, accepting yourself and realizing more about yourself. I think this SDR role in itself has been amazing for me, because I've been able to assess me even deeper and see how much more I can push myself.
Wow.
Because after 22 years of doing the same thing, you think you know your limitations. Oh, this is what I know. No. There is so much more to you. There is so much more you can give, and by putting yourself in a challenging position, it opens up so much more. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah,
it's basically that story of, you know, going out of your comfort zone. Although we are so accustomed to hearing about it, I love that this is actually an example of doing it. And what I also love is the fact that you really, well, I mean, the level of maturity that you kind of invest in, you know, taking this role on and, you know, tackling each obstacle one by one and just exploring, you know, where your limits are and letting yourself, you know, step by step becoming better at it. That's really, you know, something to mention. No, I mean,
it's a non-stop process. Every day you just gotta keep going these days.
Sure. You mentioned cold calling sessions, and like maybe you can share, where are you going to those sessions? How does that look like?
So there's a company in the UK that actually do some sort of training. The company's called Trainio. And they've been grateful to sort of offer some of their cold calling free training out for me, which has been amazing. And I'm super excited to join. I'm petrified as well, because I know there's going to be other guys there that are like way ahead of me, but that's what it's about. You have to place yourself with people who have more experience in order for you to learn. You know, you can't be ahead of the game all the time, you know, otherwise you know where are you going to go, you know.
That's right.
So
that's right.
I set myself in a month ago, and I keep looking at the calendar and I'm like, oh my God, it's a week away. Oh my God, it's like 3 days. Now it's Monday and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna actually have to do this. But you know what? I'm so glad, because it comes a time where you have to put your feet in, you have to do that task, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready. Awesome. And I'm super excited. Yeah.
You sound ready.
On LinkedIn, there are so many people out there, so many sort of gurus out there that are willing to offer 30 minutes of their time if you want, you know. And for example, James from Gong, he offered an amazing session for me for 30 minutes coffee chat, and we went through cold call pitches and you know, the tone and my pace, and it was and how you think to yourself these days, you know what, things have changed and people are out there and they want to help you. So once again, it reverts back to don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask, because there's people out there that are willing to help you out. You know, you're not alone. Don't ever think that you're alone.
Especially in these types of roles, because this is something I've really seen, you know, as a strength to the whole, let's call it STR, BDR, sales technology community, sales tech community, like sales community in the tech space. That's what I was going for. Yeah. But like the mutual support, the support that more senior people are giving to younger people in the role sense and junior reps. I mean, that's you know, what it takes to grow as an industry as well. So I think that's really, that's invaluable.
I think especially when it comes to the sales, being involved in sales, so like the senior levels, they've also come from the junior levels. They know what it is to grind. They know what it is to scrape the bottom. They know what it is to have those months where there's nothing coming through, you know, and having to find your best practices and find that grit within yourself. So that's why, like I said, when it comes to the community, they're there to help, because they know what it's like grinding from the bottom, you know.
Oh yeah. By the way,
scrape yourself up.
What is it? Speaking of, you know, what we need as an SDR, like, is there anything that you wish specifically that you wish you knew before applying and starting as an SDR?
It's like how to cold call. No. No, you know what? Funny enough, revert a funny story. one of my first jobs actually back in South Africa, because I come from South Africa. My first jobs, I was a telesales for a computer hardware company. But obviously it was all inbound, right? So I used to be there, and then I moved into account executive for Compaq, right?
Nice.
So again, that was inbound, but everything back then is so different from how it is back then. You know, please find attached, right, in your emails. You don't do that today.
Exactly.
Hi, how are you? This is Zoe. You don't do that today. This is like a no-no. All the practice, it's like sorcery. Everything's changed. Everything's changed. You know what I mean? It's like it's a completely new ball game. It is. I mean, it is up there. You know, this is like hardcore new techniques, and I wish I wish I was more involved and had my finger on the pulse a little bit, so that I wasn't so like, wow, what is this? You know, it's quite an eye opener. It's not the game that I knew it was. So yeah, I think like, again, it's quite sort of scary when you first get into it, because it's so much. But if you just embrace it with both hands and just go forward, it's okay.
Oh yeah. So what would you say, you know, is making you successful today? Not necessarily just as an SDR, although that's primarily, but like in general.
I think it's I've always had grit, and I will always. I might have my moments where I'm just like, oh my God, I can't do this, and I'll have a cry. That's my release, but I always move forward. And if I can't move forward, I know that I either have to take a step to the left or to the right and find a different path. I don't give up. I won't give up. Right? Unless I stop breathing, I'm not giving up. And that's what I was always taught from my parents. You don't give up. You know, you always have to just move forward, and there's a different way. You've got it in you, and you have to stay positive and smile and laugh, and just laugh at yourself. Have cry, but then laugh. Like, I remember when we first met, you know, I said to you, people think I'm crazy because when I cry, I laugh at the same time, because it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to be able to realize that, hey, I'm struggling, but I'm here, and I'm grateful that I'm struggling, because I've got something to struggle about, you know, but there is a way forward. There is a way forward. Always. So just put that smile on, and with a tear in your eye, and just go, you know, there's going to be there. It's going to happen. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, this is very inspiring. I don't think there is enough talk about, you know, mental health and how you can help yourself alleviate all of that pressure and stress and, you know, anxiety that you know, both you know, these roles in sales creates, as well as life in general. So I can relate to your coping mechanisms. I mean, I cry myself, so it's
it's great. It is a good one. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Other than, you know, letting themselves cry sometimes, what would you suggest to anyone, you know, trying to break into tech, similar to how you did, who's just started as an SDR and is struggling? Like, what would you give them as an advice?
Reach out, talk about it. Don't be afraid to use your social media, or have coffee chats, or find family, friends, whatever, you know, whatever's available to you. Talk about it, especially if you're in a position where your job is remote, and you're not working in an office. Sometimes that is often even harder. So reach out. Always reach out. Don't become silent. The more silent you become, the more you become inward, and everything in your focus it's called zooming in. Everything in that dish seems so highlighted that you cannot cope, and it's a big world out there. There's a lot to cope with these days. You know what I mean? It's not just about finding a job or being in a job. It's about your life in general, things, what's happening around us. There's a lot to deal with. Take a breath, zoom out, and ask for help. Always ask for help. That's the number one key. Don't ever be silent, ever. Okay. I'm passionate. I'm so passionate about it. Don't ever be silent. Talk. If something is making you upset, talk about it. The more you keep it inside you, the more it festers into something that's bad and ugly. You don't need that in your life. Life is beautiful. We're here.
Oh,
we're talking. Look at,
That's right.
Life is beautiful.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we're across the globe, and we're still talking, and we're relaying the message.
Hello.
So
Exactly. Come on. Yeah.
No, for sure. No, this was really, I'm completely being serious here when I say very deep and touching and relatable. And I really thank you for spreading that message and spreading all of that positivity. I think I've been since we started chatting, I've been overwhelmed by the amount of positive energy that you're projecting. So thank you for that. I think we were able to present that here today as well.
I hope so. It's so difficult because I feel so blessed that you've asked me on the podcast, and it's incredible because I never in my wildest dreams in 7 months thought that I would be in this position. I would be doing something like this. And whoever this goes out to, don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. There's always your home. There's always somewhere where you're going to be, and reach out, because I always said from the start on my LinkedIn page, I've always been open. Reach out to me. Whatever we can do, we're always there to help. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. So for everybody listening and watching, you can reach out to Zoi via LinkedIn. I will definitely leave the contact information for your profiles as well as your company below. And yeah, I think this kind of brings us to the end. I really appreciate your time, Zoi, and sharing your perspective and your story and your experiences. This was invaluable.
Thank you so much.
And so, yeah, it's been a pleasure, and I'll see you around.
Thank you ever so much. Definitely. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the SDR Hire podcast, the only podcast exclusively focused on SDRs, where successful salespeople share about their hiring stories and sales adventures straight from the trenches. If you found this useful, go ahead and share it with someone else you know is trying to break into tech or land their next SDR gig. You can find SDR Hire on all major podcast platforms as well as YouTube. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and catch you in the next episode.